All right, we are back, everyone. This is our weekly podcast. We are the Football Tailgaters, and we go over NFL topics here. So today, our Jets fan Yams is joining me. Our unbiased NFL fan Andy's joining us as well, and myself, Aaron, a Cowboys fan. We got a lot of topics to go over today, and finally, it's the week where we've been pretty much looking forward to, right? It's only preseason, but there's finally football this week. So that's pretty exciting, right? We got the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, which is Browns versus Jets. It sounds exciting, right? But usually, right, you got the starters not really doing anything, if anything at all. It's already been announced, and Rodgers is not participating. A lot of the important, exciting people to watch in this new NFL season are not going to be participating in this game, but that's okay, right? We're just glad that football is finally back. So let's go over our topics for today. We got some Coach Peyton, Sean Payton, from obviously the Denver Broncos, right? The head coach, and Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator of the New York Jets. We got some beef cooking up here. We're gonna go over that. We're also gonna talk about Jonathan Taylor and the drama we got with the Colts and the whole trade situation. How he asked for a trade, he wants out. Joe Burrow got injured during camp. That's really not good for the Bengals. We'll go over that. And then also we got the Cardinals here, which is kind of crazy to talk about too, because after what happened last season, it's a whole mess. So we'll go over them too. We got Bill Belichek not naming the starting quarterback yet. That's interesting. And then lastly, the Hall of Fame game I just mentioned earlier. So let's start with Coach Payton versus Hackett here. This is interesting to me because it's drama that I think is well placed by Sean Payton. If I'm not mistaken, Sean Payton started this. So I'm going to drop this question off to you guys, and we can start with the Yams here since you're the Jets fan here, right? Who's right in this drama of Payton versus Hackett, if there's even a right here?
I think it's just wrong what Sean Payton did. He basically called what you guys do bro code. He broke bro code between coaches. So there's coaches code, and he just, dished all the laundry on Hackett. Even if he did had a horrible year, you don't say those things.
Maybe he's trying to cover himself for the future of this season. Maybe he sees a whole bunch of issues with the Denver Broncos, and it's going to take a few years. So he's putting the blame on Hackett, so it doesn't show all the blame on him of the dysfunction that this team could be this season, especially with these two wide receivers that went down recently.
Sean Payton's a little bit controversial, so this is no surprise to me. This is kind of his something to lean on when stuff goes wrong, if anything goes wrong this season, right? There's going to be a lot of stuff to fix, whatever it is, so he's just trying to create something out of this possible disaster that may happen. I think that this whole thing in the first place was pretty messed up, right? There was kind of no reason for it. So there's a reason. I think there's a reason for it, because other than that, it's kind of stupid to just mention this whole thing, right? Dissing Hackett for what happened last season. It's just, I don't know.
It is stupid, but maybe Andy is right. Maybe it's said for a reason, because he is in for a rebuild. If you think about it, look at how the season ended for them, and if you hear comments about the training camp, you hear Russell Wilson is progressing well, and that's something you shouldn't say about a quarterback that has won a Super Bowl.
We got to look at the timing too. Football's right around the corner. Season's about to start, and this drops, right? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Right? So it's definitely planted for sure.
We can all agree that Sean Payton, he is a big-time football mindset. So I don't know what his strategy is. Yeah, he dissed another coach, but maybe he just doesn't care about other coaches or anything. He's not trying to create some drama in the news or anything like that, even though he knew it was going to cause drama. But maybe it's more something about inside his organization that he's trying to change here. Mostly me, thought that this team last year was going to do really well with Russell Wilson there. They have a good defense. They have wide receivers. It doesn't look like a bad squad. We just don't know what's going behind closed doors for Sean Payton to just throw the blame at Hackett for what happened last year. It is strange, but I think there's more to it than just him blaming another coach.
Yeah.
Let me just say one more thing. Recently, also, Sean Payton said that his quarterback, Russell Wilson, has been that he's been doing well and fixing the errors that has been happening like last year. And when you're talking about Russell Wilson, he is a talented quarterback that you don't say those things in the media of like that he has to fix those things that what happened last year. Those things go behind closed doors. So it is really strange how Sean Payton is more media this time, throwing Hackett and now throwing a little bit of shade under Russell Wilson in a nice way, but still those conversations have to go behind closed doors. Doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. It seems like he's setting himself up. He wants to let the world know that there is a huge mess and he's cleaning it up because maybe he sees a season that's going to come out pretty good. I don't know. Maybe he's putting himself up there.
Between the Saints and the Denver Broncos, I think the Denver Broncos have a better squad and a better roster. That's just me, though.
Maybe not so much now with the wide receivers down. And, I mean, can we say that Russell Wilson and... what's his name? I mean,
they still have Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Those are big-time names. Over there in the Saints, you do have a star with Olave, but Michael Thomas is out the door. You don't even know what's going to happen with Kamara. I believe Kamara is going to go and talk to Roger Goodell this week, I believe, to see about his suspension. They have a whole mess over there. And I think with the Denver Broncos, it's just a better position. That's why I'm a little confused, because it's not like the Denver Broncos are in a horrible state of place. Maybe he walked into the facility, spoke to players, and it's a huge mentality type of issue to go back into a big time winning mindset. And maybe a lot of these this organization with the players just have a really bad mindset of what happened last year, because it was a big surprise how Denver Broncos were, how horrible they were last year. Like horrible with all those key players. And since that happened, maybe there's something going on that we just don't know that he's trying to put into these players' heads. I sort of wish that we can see behind the scenes of what's going on, kind of like a Hard Knocks thing. I know you want the Jets to be the Hard Knocks, but I think the Denver Broncos would have been a really good candidate.
It's a very angry and petty thing. I think that's what we can all admit here, right?
Yes, petty, but like I said, it could be a hidden agenda. It's messed up as a coach to another coach is really messed up. But I don't think he might not.
You don't see that a lot.
He might not care.
You don't see that a lot. Now, what about more drama here going on between two people? But instead of just coaches, we got a player and an owner. We got Jonathan Taylor requesting a trade from the Colts. So he went up and talked to Jim Irsay, and they're just not agreeing with anything at all. So Jonathan Taylor wants out of the Indianapolis Colts, and Jim Irsay saying, no, we're not trading you. Is Jonathan Taylor staying with the Colts?
I don't think he's going anywhere, but it doesn't seem like either of the two sides are making any progress on their end to make amends, right? So, I mean, anything can happen in the NFL, and I'm sure there's been teams already been in contact to trade him. And I think maybe the team that needs him most might be the Baltimore Ravens. Besides the Jets, right? Everyone should go to the Jets. But I think the Baltimore Ravens, because they have J.K. Dobbins. Who knows about his injuries? I know they got Melvin Gordon, but I mean, Melvin Gordon is kind of history.
No, there's a lot of other teams. But besides that, you know what's funny is how everybody has been downgrading the running backs, that they're not much needed. Like with the Ezekiel Elliott, Cook is still out there waiting to be signed. But with Jonathan Taylor, once he said that he wanted to be traded, a lot of teams called in because they were interested. So that's a big surprise of how many teams just want to get this running back. They see his age and his ability to be a great running back and to help any team succeed. And it just shows you that how important still running back is. He's still at the Colts training camp. He's still participating in all of their activities. So he is staying for the moment. Maybe throughout the season they can trade him if somebody wants to trade a big package deal of picks. You know, everybody's for sale. Honestly, we just have to wait.
Now, the Colts are reportedly considering placing Taylor on non-football injury lists. And I saw somewhere that apparently he might not get his contract basically for the season guaranteed, right? Or something along those lines. If he's placed on this list, he's basically going to lose a lot of money if he's placed on this.
Oh man, if that happens, there's going to be some
I can't confirm it. I can't confirm it, but I saw it on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's never 100%. but it's kind of scary. So I think for him wanting an extension and Jim Irsay saying, no, we're not giving you an extension, he needs to get out of there. I think the Colts need to trade him away, and I think the Buffalo Bills is a great spot for him. Now, what can the Bills give up? I don't know. I have no clue. But I think it's not the worst idea to have the Bills give up some assets for him, right? It's just how much do the Colts want? And I'm sure the asking price is going to be high, which is, again, another interesting topic that I mentioned earlier about Austin Eckler. How is his trading price? How is he so valuable when you're trying to trade him, but then you don't want to give him an extension? Really? It's interesting.
There was a good example that I saw that when Andrew Luck retired being a Colts quarterback, there was some money that didn't need to be paid left on his contract, but Jim Irsay just paid Andrew Luck regardless, just as a thank you for all of those years that he gave, all his heart and all his play. But here we have a player that would like to get paid, and he's kind of like Saquon Barkley, a big part of your offensive scheme, and you don't want to pay him. That makes it's just very confusing. I'm afraid that Jim Irsay can be the next Dan Snyder in the NFL.
Yeah, it's tough. There's also a little bit of like unconfirmed sources about Taylor experiencing like back pains or something like that, and there's just a whole bunch of murky information out there.
Yeah, didn't Taylor tweet that his back is perfectly fine? That's all lies.
Yeah. So, it's kind of ugly over there. Again, this whole running back situation right now, it needs to be fixed somehow because it's not pretty at all for them.
Do you guys think running backs is a huge factor to win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
It can be, yeah, very much so.
No, it can't. No, not that it can be. Like, do you really need a great running back to win a Super Bowl?
Well,
it helps, but more importantly, you need the scheme. You need the O-line. You need especially a good O-line, because if you don't, it's even if
you can have a great running back and have it not work out well.
So it's more important to have an offensive line than the running back. Of course, having a running back does help, but I'm just saying it doesn't make or break. It could be that it doesn't make or break your team to win a Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs last year, they won a Super Bowl, and tell me is their running backs main stars? No. Look at the Eagles. They went to the Super Bowl. Their main running back they shipped them off, and he's with the Panthers.
Right.
Look at
then again, they're not asking for big money. The Kansas City running backs are not asking for Jonathan Taylor amount of money. They're not asking for Ezekiel Elliott money, who just got the last big contract. Like, they're not asking for big money, right?
Well, Sanders did, and
these
that's
running
why he got
backs. It's because but not every single player, right? But you can have people who feel like they have that workload on them, right? And they feel like, hey, I feel like I'm contributing this big part into this offense. Why am I not getting the money that I deserve, right? And that's one of the problems is, okay, you don't build a good offensive line, but I'm running like through hell, like just absolutely getting slaughtered, getting banged up left and right. It's tough. So they feel like they deserve that money. If you have a good offensive line, right, it's going to be all good. It really depends also on the player's personality.
There's something that he might be onto something is maybe this is the new way of the NFL where they don't rely on a big top name running back, but they rely on 3 or 4 like the Kansas City Chiefs and Eagles who went to the Super Bowl, and if they ask for big money, get out of here. We'll get the next one we'll use up the next legs.
As long as the offensive line
is working, then we'll get any kind of average or above average, slightly above average running back just to make things work. But they need to have a really good quarterback.
Oh, for sure.
And not every team works like that, which is sad, because if they did, I don't think this would be a problem right now.
Everyone would be doing it.
Well, if we look at them in history, in NFL history, the biggest names and running backs, those players didn't win a Super Bowl. Let's go back into with Jim Brown with the Cleveland Browns. They didn't win a Super Bowl. Barry Sanders with the Detroit Lions. They didn't win a Super Bowl. LaDainian Tomlinson with the Chargers almost went to the Super Bowl, but they didn't even get to a Super Bowl. Went to multiple AFC championships. Eric Dickerson with the Colts. He didn't win a Super Bowl. Emmitt Smith, of course, he did win a Super Bowl. He was a big part because he had what they also known as the wall in the Dallas Cowboys, at a big time wall, and with the offensive lineman. So I'm just saying that Adrian Peterson, another big time name with the Minnesota Vikings, they didn't even sniff the Super Bowl. I'm just saying that this is why teams like are pushing away these running backs, and it's no big deal for them.
But this is a result of their own consequences.
And do they have a quarterback to back it up?
I'm just saying that, no, I mean, if I'm running an organization...
This is a culture that the organization built themselves. Why don't you help the running back, right? You're not winning a Super Bowl, right?
But why would you dig yourself deeper?
You got to look at your like other problems too. I don't know how good their offensive line were for most of these running backs, right? Well, but I assume it was probably an issue, right?
I can't really say for all of them. I just know Emmitt Smith, he did have one of the best offensive lines. That's why I quote-unquote call it the wall. And, I mean, he is the leading rusher of the NFL. LaDainian Tomlinson with the Chargers, they did a decent offensive line. All of these players mostly had a decent offensive line. But when you're running an organization, and I feel for these players, of course, since they have a small lifespan of the NFL, of course, go get your money. Whatever you can do, go get your money. But I don't fault the teams for being like, you know what? We have a cap. I can't put all of my capital on you. It just can't work. Awesome, you are a great player, but I'm just going to try to get some picks from you. Kind of like you were saying with Eckler. I can't pay you, but I'm going to try to get as much as I'm worth, because that's just how business is, negotiations. It just sucks for the player, but I understand business-wise.
Either way, it's an ugly issue, and it needs to get fixed.
How would you fix it?
There needs to be some kind of compromise for both of them, and there hasn't been one yet, so it's going to keep getting uglier and uglier probably.
Yeah.
And you don't want your own players upset, so...
Like I said, it has to go into the next bargaining agreement, and there should be like a small clause for running backs, because it is pretty messed up, and it shouldn't hurt the teams, the business that much. All these teams have billions of dollars. Of course, they can afford to pay these guys, but since there's a cap, they have to really put in. This is why the NFL is also very competitive, and that's why you don't have like if it's on baseball with the Yankees winning a lot, even though they haven't won since 2009. But you don't have a team that's always on top all the time, and that's what's great about the NFL. That's why the cap is there. Makes it a lot more fair.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. Let's shift on over now to Joe Burrow and the big news that came out with his injury. So I know it's going to be a significant amount of weeks. It was his, I want to say, was it an ankle injury or was it his knee?
Was it a calf, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a calf injury. Right? It was a non-contact calf injury.
Yeah, because there's a video of him actually just running. He took off running, and then he just fell down to the ground because he started limping.
He started hopping around and then just fell.
He was doing his best Zach Wilson impression, might I say.
Wow,
I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay.
If there's a chance, I'm going to do it. If there's a chance, I'm going to do it.
We're starting early. We'll see Zach Wilson tomorrow. Relax. You have plenty of time to.
Was he competing with a third round pick?
No, he's the second QB. He's
the second quarterback right now.
Yeah, he won the backup quarterback job.
Oh no, I mean against on the Browns on the other side.
Oh, the defense, like
no. The quarterback for the Browns, who's starting? It's like it's not the rookie, because I know they got a rookie and some other guy.
No, I don't know, but.
No, you don't know?
No.
Dang.
It's mostly when they put quarterback against quarterback, I don't see it that way, because it's quarterback against defenses. So
Dorian Thompson Robinson, that's who they drafted.
But
that's who's starting, right? Yeah. So I'm just curious. I was just curious.
It's the third stringers, the Cleveland Browns, but also keep in mind it's not. You also have not the starters for the Jets playing. So Zach Wilson's going to be playing with the third stringers and the Jets. That's how Mark Sanchez, if I'm not mistaken, got injured in the preseason against the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. Rex Ryan put him in there with like the third stringers, and they weren't the stars, so Mark Sanchez wasn't protected correctly, and he couldn't throw the ball where they need to be. He was
fighting for his job too. That's why he put him in there.
I understand that, but that's I'm just putting for Zach Wilson. I'm not trying to make a little cushion for him not to fail tomorrow or whatever. But he is playing with third stringers, which he should be practicing with for the last month or 3 weeks, whatever they've been practicing for.
We shall see if the Aaron Rodgers mentorship has done any wonders on Zach Wilson. So we shall see.
Sometimes the student's the problem, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, another one. Okay.
No, we'll
keep
see.
them coming.
We'll
keep them coming.
I'm just saying we'll see.
Keep them coming. We'll see.
Let me restart this.
Let's restart this.
Let me restart this. So Joe Burrow got injured, calf strain, right? He's going to miss several weeks. Is this going to be a problem for the Bengals?
It's a wait and see, because the Bengals are not going to say if it's really a lingering issue. And with this injury, we have to just see if it lingers on. Lucky for him, it's in the beginning of training camp, so he practically has a little over a month before the season starts. So it's just a wait and see type of thing. It would really suck, though, for him, especially that he wants to make that big contract, which I'm still certain that he'll make that contract happen.
Yeah, it does suck for him in terms of negotiations for his contract, but there is some time. There's 6 weeks before the opener, and they're optimistic that he will be in at least for the regular season. If not, he'll miss maybe just a few games. But no, I don't think this really impacts their team a lot. If he was gone for the whole season, then I would be worried. But no, I wouldn't be so concerned. But maybe it does affect his contract negotiations just a bit.
Yeah, I would say maybe just a little bit on the contract talk. It might affect it, but other than that, there's no worry here at all because the hope is to return by the season opener. Now, it's too early to tell still, but a calf strain, it depends on how bad it was. It'll be fine. There's no worry at all. He's fine. It's just it sucks because it was in training camp, and you got to be careful with how you, I guess, maneuver as a player and how you want to take care of yourself. And sometimes it's just straight up luck here. Of what happened.
Pure bad luck because it was a non-contact type of injury, just out of nowhere. So call that bad luck. I don't know.
All right, so Coach Gannon head coach Gannon, right, for the Cardinals, took over for Cliff Kingsbury after the whole mess that happened last season with Hard Knocks 2 taking an interesting view of this, or of their season. It was a disaster, to say the least. So now there seems to be maybe a culture change. I think pretty well. It seems like Gannon is the type of going straight to the point, and he wants to turn things around, right? Be competitive instantly. He's shutting out the outside noise. So the head coach for the Cardinals, do you think he's going to do well? Or do you think the Cardinals are going to do well, I should ask?
It's the same thing. We have to wait and see how he is. But, I remember the exact same thing when Robert Saleh came over to the New York Jets. After the crazy season we had under Adam Gase, it was the same thing. It was a culture shock. It was leader of all men, and he was there to completely change the culture. And that's what Gannon is trying to do. According to what I saw on Twitter, one of the players showed up like 30 seconds late to one of the team meetings, and he said that's just not going to fly here. If you're not going to follow with my rules, then you can see the door. So players are saying that it's a culture shock, what's going on. So I'm thinking it's 180 complete change over there.
I mean, I love it. That's what this team needs. Everybody needs to calm them down from their high horse, however you say that saying, and just put them all at the level for, there's nobody that's better, nobody that is going to have special treatment. We're all starting from the beginning because that's what this team needed. We have a quarterback that supposedly doesn't study that much and plays a bunch of video games. We have wide receivers that left. We have a star safety that wanted to leave, but now he's staying. So this team needed a big-time pool shock, and that's what they got.
So the players are using words such as culture shock, culture change, or culture shift when they're talking about their head coach Gannon. And this is exactly what they need. They're seeing themselves as being competitive this season. They're not tanking, obviously. So they're definitely capable of being competitive this season, especially with the NFC being so weak, right? So with the roster that they have, it's gotten a little bit weaker, right? You lost your main star, obviously, with DeAndre Hopkins, but it's not the end of the world. You can work things out, and with the confidence of this head coach that they have now, it seems to be a step in the right direction.
This is what the Denver Broncos should be talking about, the players. Instead of dissing other coaches, they should talk about the culture and how competitive it is. It's a complete 180 here. And this is how it should be. And that's Arizona, even though they've been voted the worst facilities and training and all of that stuff, hopefully they do well. I do have a question for you guys, though. Since we're in the NFC and talking about the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, who do you guys think is a better quarterback, Kyler Murray or Dak Prescott?
Hey, that's yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Dak Prescott is more reliable. He's not as injured as often. I think
that's tough though, because it was an ACL tear that Murray had, and that really screwed up his momentum. But I would say reliability. I would definitely give the edge to Prescott. I would say Prescott.
I would say Prescott, but
not by much though.
Not by much, correct. But Kyler Murray just scrambles better.
If you're talking about just reliability, yeah, of course. But you do need a quarterback to perform. And in my opinion, Kyler Murray is a better talented quarterback. I've seen Dak Prescott again versus the Cardinals, and I saw Kyler Murray just play a lot better. And I've seen Kyler Murray's other games as well, and he does play better than Dak Prescott. He's faster. He looks like he can maneuver the offense a little bit better instead of just being a little bit more cautious. And now we're hearing that Dallas Cowboys are going to be a little bit more quarterback friendly, which is really strange to hear. They should be always quarterback friendly to the quarterback. So, and in my opinion, Kyler Murray is a better quarterback.
I do think that
you take it to face value though with what you're given. Let's say right now you get the option to grab either Kyler Murray or Dak Prescott. Who do you grab?
Kyler Murray.
Really?
Yeah. And
I mean, the stats say otherwise, but
well, the thing is that if you put Kyler Murray with the Dallas Cowboys, I think that they would have had a better shot against the 49ers than Dak Prescott in the 49ers. Against the 49ers.
Okay, but that's not the situation, though. You take like I said, you take with what you have right now of these quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Who do you take right now in the current situation?
No, current situation. No, of course, it's Dak Prescott. But I'm not saying, I mean, if you ask the question that way, then I do take Dak Prescott. But I'm talking about an overall quarterback. I would choose. It's like if you say, who would you take? I can't think of anybody right now.
It's because look,
Russell Wilson or Tom Brady.
Oh, come on. It's because look,
Russell Wilson's a lot more athletic.
No,
but you're talking about the GOAT, man.
You can't compare. But the thing is, Kyler Murray is just more talent.
Quarterback by itself.
Quarterback itself? Oh yeah, I would take Tom Brady.
Yeah, just by quarterback by itself. Don't take into account obviously the more winningness, right, with Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's more consistent, and he's shown it. He went to another team and continued to be Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
And Russell Wilson, even though he was really good in Seattle, and he couldn't be good. It just what happened? We don't know. It's a mystery, right?
We don't know if Kyler Murray, if he goes to another team, how well he would perform.
To be honest,
why do you take him over? Why do you take him over Prescott?
Because of his performance. Do you
feel like Prescott would do just as well with Cardinals if they switched?
No, I think he would actually maybe even do a little bit worse.
I think you take him over because of how he scrambles, right? How he runs with the ball. Then because Dak Prescott does run, but he doesn't have the running talent that Kyler Murray does.
He puts the defenses more on their toes to see what Kyler Murray's going to do because he's faster and he's quicker. It's
like a little little toddler running around.
Exactly. So it makes it a little bit more harder. If I was a defense, I'll be a little bit more nervous of Kyler Murray than Dak Prescott.
I think that's why you're choosing him, only because he can scramble with the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, but still, it's an overall talent.
Because he has legs.
Exactly, it's an overall talent, of course.
What about arm? What about just accuracy? What about just standing in the pocket?
I think they're both pretty much the same.
They're pretty much the same. So
they're the same.
Exactly.
So then
you're giving the edge because of he can scramble. That's it.
Yeah. So then, Aaron, you're changing your answer to Kyler Murray then.
No. I said based off of reliability, I would take Prescott.
But let's just say that they're both healthy. Who would you take?
Then I would take Murray.
That's all I'm saying.
But the world's not perfect, so
no, of course not.
Kyler Murray has dealt with more injuries, right? And he's dealt with more problems. He's had bigger setbacks, I think, than Prescott. Mm-hmm. And that's what the real world is showing these stats, right? And that's why I would take that. But yeah, if we're like completely ignoring all that, yeah, Murray's definitely better.
That's all I'm
Definitely.
saying. Right now, today, I'm still sticking with Dak Prescott just because of the reliability, and he's not a bad quarterback. They're not very much different. Of course, I would be taking Dak Prescott just because of the history, reliability, and leadership, all of that stuff. I'm still taking Dak Prescott, but talent-wise, I would go with Kyler Murray.
You know, I think it's impressive that Prescott has thrown for more, yet his percentage is basically the same as Murray.
Maybe because Kyler Murray has a smaller sample size since he doesn't play that much.
He's 97 to 57 games.
Yeah,
That's a 30-game difference. What a 40-game difference.
It's almost 50 more games. So
I have a question.
That's massive. But also, so Prescott was 2016 and then Murray was 2018, 2017? Was that how it was?
I think
Murray?
it was like 2 seasons after Dak Prescott.
So 2019? Or sorry,
18.
2018?
I think so.
God, that's crazy.
You had a question, Yams?
So long ago.
Yeah, I can't remember who. So we have Gannon. He was in the Eagles, right? He was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. And you have the offensive coordinator that also got hired to what team?
The Colts.
The Colts. Which of those two hires do you see doing better? Because they both got hired to pretty messed up teams.
There's a lot of factors to be seen because it's not only the teams in the roster, you also have to look at the division. Arizona is with the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks, which I think it's a harder division than the Colts with basically their best team. There is the Jacksonville Jaguars on top, and there's the Houston Texans, which they're in rebuild mode. And then you have the Titans, which we don't know. They have a great coach, but we don't know how they're going to be doing. And they're going to be doing okay, I'm saying. So I think the one that should be doing better, and it's just, again, based on quarterback, is Gannon with the Cardinals. Exactly. And it's just based on the quarterback. We don't know what's going to happen with the Colts with Richardson. If Richardson blows off the league, then yeah, of course, it's the quarterback. But it's all about the quarterback, in my opinion. And then the other factors that are involved.
I think they'll do pretty good. I think the Cardinals we're going to see a change for sure under Gannon, and we'll probably see a better Kyler Murray.
So Bill Belichick came out to say that there's no starting quarterback yet with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, right? And then I don't know who's their third string, right? But there's quarterback competition going on right now. There's no clear name according to Bill Belichick. Is this a jab at Mac Jones?
I don't think so, because this is how Bill Belichick has been treating his tenure with the Patriots. Even though we all knew that Brady was going to be the starter, even when Brady was younger in his first years, even though he had great seasons, he would always take forever to say, yeah, Tom Brady's the starter. It's just, we just look at this differently because Tom Brady was there for so long, and we don't see Bill Belichick. We're not used to seeing Bill Belichick struggle, and this is the situation. And with Mac Jones, even though we know that probably Mac Jones is going to be the starting quarterback, it's a little odd for people, but for me, it's not.
I don't know how we're going to see Mac Jones as the quarterback. If we could possibly see Bailey. It just depends because he got pulled last year, and it could be another reason he's not liking it. So it could be a reason to motivate Mac Jones, but I think it's a high possibility he won't be the quarterback for the Patriots.
It could be another situation to where they're switching them out if they lose confidence in Mac Jones. Mac Jones is going to start, I think. But there's got to be some situations where their Patriots are going to come out and say Bailey Zappi starting week 12 or something like that. The confidence level is obviously low on Mac Jones already, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're considering their options in the quarterback position, whether it's the draft or trading, even though you don't really hear them much on that. But they did draft, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they drafted a quarterback this last draft. I forgot his name, but I think he was from... I think it was like a bird logo. I think it was... Louisville. I think that's what I was looking at. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so Malik Cunningham is a rookie, and then it's Mac Jones, Trace McSorley, and then Bailey Zappi.
So they have a number
I think the main competition, wouldn't it be between... Huh?
They have a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah. It kind of puts already to... The point is that they're not confident in their quarterback position, and they're testing the waters right now. So I would say maybe the main competition is Zappi and Jones, no?
Well, He says everyone's competing.
Well,
but
of
yeah,
course,
possibly.
That's his way of saying, yeah.
Yeah, but you're gonna narrow it down to the two main ones, don't you think? Don't you think that it's gonna be close for at least some of these guys?
Well, it's because the problem is that none of these guys are like jumping off the page and being like a fulfilled franchise starter. And if you say the season goes like you say that they might change throughout the season, then it's still a dysfunctional team and offense, not having a starting quarterback. So all of these questions are still up in the air, and that's why we're putting a little bit more eye on Bill Belichick. Is can he be in the hot seat or can he not be in the hot seat? Just because he had all that success, but people are saying it's because of you had Tom Brady. So it is a hard situation right now. I don't see it as a diss, like I said with Mac Jones, but I mean, yeah, you would say it's Zappy and Mac Jones right now are the starters. I don't know. Bill Belichick's age, I think he's like 70 years old. I don't know how long he's going to want to continue being a coach, but I'm really surprised they didn't really try to go for Derek Carr. Just get a veteran quarterback that's not awful. And just put him in the best position to win. But I guess because they have Mac Jones and they drafted Mac Jones, they don't want to move away from that just yet. But like I said, I don't know how long Bill Belichick's going to be wanting to wait because quarterback is the main part of your football team.
Maybe he's trying to do it all over again, trying to find his next Tom Brady. Who knows? Malik Cunningham, I just researched him. I had no idea, but he was undrafted. You know, many of those go. I don't know. I forgot the question.
Is the quarterback competition? Is Bill Belichick not naming a starter a diss at Mac Jones?
It's a diss at Mac Jones, yes, and he needs it. Because if he's not showing up and he's not playing right, then I can diss you. I'm Belichick.
Well, we know that there's.
I feel like I've heard this somewhere else. No, was it what I'm thinking? Is last year Belichick said the same thing, right?
I believe so. There's friction between the quarterback and the head coach, which we all can think.
Why
it's
wouldn't
bad.
there be friction?
It's
Look
really
how
bad news.
He's like on the sideline, yelling at his coaches, and like f this, f that. I would cut the cord right away.
You as who?
As Belichick, yeah.
You would fire him? You
Yes.
would fire Mac Jones?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. You came from Alabama. Saban talked well about you, and now you're playing here. I don't like how you're playing. Let's go. Move on.
Yeah, I'm curious to see why they didn't look at their options, especially with Derek Carr. I mean, I'm sure they tried. What you think?
Maybe secretly, but they don't seem to be the organization that really could to try and make a big payday for that player.
Right.
Even though if they did get
Derek
Derek
Hopkins.
I'm sorry?
They were one of the finalists for Hopkins.
Yeah, but it wasn't they weren't like giving a whole bunch of money and things just didn't plan out that way. I'm saying like a big franchise type of position here, which is the quarterback position with Derek Carr. If Derek Carr went to the Patriots, I would say, with Bill Belichick as their head coach, it might be again a team to be very afraid of. Now the AFC East, I'm sorry, is mostly all of them are elite again because we're all putting probably the Patriots on the bottom of that division now with Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, even Tua, and then Mac Jones. So yeah,
we'll see if this Malik Cunningham becomes the quarterback.
I mean, maybe. You never know.
Yeah,
there have been Kurt Warner, Dak Prescott, Tony Romo. There's been undrafted quarterbacks, so we'll see.
So Thursday night, we got at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. What is it, like 5 Pacific? We got New York Jets versus the Browns. The Hall of Fame game going down. This is pretty exciting, but obviously none of the starters are going to be participating, at least for the most part, for the main faces of these teams, right? What do you guys expect from the Jets versus Browns Hall of Fame game?
I expect to see Zach Wilson. I expect him to score 1 touchdown, and that's it. I'm just happy to see the game finally. Being from Texas, I never get the luxury of seeing the Jets, so I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, football is finally back, so I'm just excited. I don't expect anything from the Cleveland Browns, like every year, mostly. New York Jets, all the medias are on the Jets to see what they're going to be doing this year. Of course, all their stars are not going to play, but Zach Wilson is going to be what is going to be watched this game to see if he has gotten better, if he can make any magic happen within this game, even though it's a whatever preseason game. It's a big stage for him.
Ooh, I really wanted to make another joke, but I can't.
Go ahead, make it.
What's the over/under on the ACL tear for Zach Wilson?
I'll take that bet.
I'm expecting Zach Wilson to be the kind of determined quarterback that he should have been before Aaron Rodgers came in and solidify, obviously, the number 2 spot, which he pretty much already has. Let's be honest. But come on, like, show what you have still. It's not over, right? It's who knows what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, right? In the next, 3 years? Because his contract's like 2 years, right, Yams?
Yeah, it's a 2-year contract.
That's
enough. There you go. I mean,
that's enough.
I mean, yeah. From an old quarterback like that?
Well, he's not that old,
No,
though.
he's not. But the NFL makes him old, so...
He's 39.
For me, he's fine.
He looks old.
He looks old to you?
Well, he's looked old since he got drafted.
It's just
he does
kind of
have,
like
yeah, he
how
has
he
that
just looks like.
old look, wrinkly face, yeah. But, no.
There's not been much talk on him being very confident on going past these 2 years. So,
well,
he said 3.
He said that he's gonna,
he said 3.
Yeah, that he's
so 1 year extension somewhere.
Yeah,
that's a good amount of years. With Zach Wilson, I mean, he was the second quarterback taken out of a draft. What was it, 3 years ago?
That's going to be interesting to me in the future. If let's say he is a good quarterback or whatever,
What's going
to happen to his contract? You know. That's a problem for another time, another day. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy, watch Aaron Rodgers on my team destroy everybody.
What's Zach Wilson's contract? Is he one of the most valuable backups?
Well, he's down to the rookie contract.
Well, he's paid really well because he was like a top 5. Yeah, top 5.
Yeah, exactly. So how much is he making? Do you guys know the specifics or no?
I can pull it up.
I would probably say he's probably like top 5 most paid as a backup.
I don't remember what he's making. Was it 19 million a year? Or
Wilson
like that?
Has a 4-year contract. 35.2 million rookie contract is fully guaranteed, including 22.9 million signing bonus. So basically, 35.2 million is all for him, and he's not going to play every season. So there you go.
10 highest paid backup NFL QBs of 2022.
He's only due $9 million over the next 2 years. So that contract is very small. The Jets would, and not only the Jets, any other team, when you draft a quarterback in the top 10, you would have loved for him to perform really well, because this is the time that you can actually go to get a Super Bowl. Just like Cincinnati with Burrow, you're just take as much as you can from this rookie contract, because after you pay him, that's when this quarterback, it just ties you up, and it makes it just harder for you to not pay other players.
This might be a good thing, because if he is not what we thought he is, he shouldn't be asking for all that big money.
In a
Joe
perfect
Burrow.
world.
Yeah. Well, come on.
No, I know he's not going to get big time like best player quarterback to be paid, but we don't know his mindset and his agent's mindset to be like, okay, well, we'll say goodbye to New York Jets and just leave because this other team is going to pay him $7 million more.
Well, we don't know that, right?
No, we don't. So yeah, it's just a wait and see.
I don't see anyone wanting Zach Wilson.
Oh, there's teams. Yeah, don't you think a coach would be out there and be like, well, the Jets couldn't make it happen with them. Maybe I can try.
And that's what they did with
Geno Smith.
Name? No, he went from team to team.
Sam Darnold.
That's what happened with Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what happened with Sam Darnold.
And they got a second round pick for him. So.
But Sam Darnold didn't freeze up like this kid did.
No, regardless though, there are teams out there that would be able to.
Well, yeah, maybe, but
yeah.
Whatever, man. I don't care.
I found this Sports Illustrated article that says what is it? Top 16 backups, and Zach Wilson is nowhere to be found. So I don't know what that really says. Not really says. I don't think it says much, honestly, because I just don't think there's much on Zach Wilson just yet. So I think that's why I think in point of what Andy was saying is I feel like there's a coach out there that's gonna be like, I want to see what I can do with him, and if it doesn't work out, whatever. And they're probably gonna get him at cheap, and that's it.
I don't think the Jets are gonna let him go. If he is the quarterback that they think that he is, and they brought in Rodgers, and he did all his mentoring, and he turns out to be...
It's not their choice, though.
I'm sure by the time it comes to Zach Wilson having that opportunity of being the starter, I'm sure the free agency market is going to have better options.
The thing with him is that since he was a first round pick, they can do the same thing that the Washington did with Kirk Cousins and franchise tag him again and again and again and again. So in a way, the Jets do have control of his career in some ways.
That's true. Yeah.
But again, tomorrow when Zach Wilson plays, that's what's going to be the media attention from. It's New York. The eyes are going to be on what Zach Wilson can do.
He did his reset, right? Because that's what we left off last year is he was going to take a step back, have a reset in his career, sit back and watch and learn.
Well, I'm also interested to see how Aaron Rodgers is involved on the sidelines with him. Is he every single drive? Is he talking to him?
I can tell
how
that
his mentorship is. No, we don't know in the game though.
Well, in the game, but what I'm seeing in training camp, he's very involved.
That's not how Aaron Rodgers was in Green Bay.
Well, that was a disgruntled
with Jordan Love.
Yeah, with Jordan Love.
That is not true. Jordan Love said that he mentored him. He helped him out.
Yeah, but we don't know as how much though. I'm just saying.
He also
this is a
publicly said.
person.
Didn't he? Aaron Rodgers also say like he was upset that the Green Bay Packers drafted a quarterback early on.
Man, anybody would have been upset. He's Aaron Rodgers. I couldn't.
But also, I don't see like you can draft him and then you can be like, hey, I didn't like this, but then also mentor him. I don't know. Also, it may be like, why would you mentor like a team that you're disgruntled with?
No, and your replacement too, because the Packers want him to replace you, and you want me to help him. Like, the heck with you guys, man.
That's kind of like similar, just obviously completely different quarterbacks, but the Titans situation with Malik Willis and Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. Yeah,
because Ryan Tannehill still wants to play. We know that Aaron Rodgers is close to the end of his career, so it's a completely, totally different situation right now with Zach Wilson. So I'm interested to see how involved Aaron Rodgers is tomorrow with him, and I'm just very curious of how he's going to be playing. There might be some rust in the beginning. Maybe throughout the game he gets some flow. Also, the Jets need to let him play for not just like a few drives. They need to like at least the whole first half, and if not the full second half, at least the full half they should play him.
So who do you guys think is gonna win?
The better team. I don't know. Honestly, it really doesn't. It really doesn't matter.
Of course.
It's more about players how the players are playing and everything. Analyzing the players. That's basically it. So most of these players are not even going to make
too. No, hold on, real quick.
Yeah, I think the
new rules
kickoff
too.
is
the kickoff changed.
Yeah, there's new rules.
Oh, I just had it up too. Also launching and tripping are now personal fouls, which is obviously you basically launch yourself if 1 foot is off the ground, which now specifies that even just 1 foot off the ground when trying to make a hit on an opposing player could now be constituted as a launch, resulting in a 15-yard penalty.
That can be annoying.
Read option handoffs for blah, blah, blah. The quarterback must hand the ball to a runner, either parallel to him or behind him. Anything in front of the quarterback will be classified as an illegal forward pass and penalized 5 yards.
Oh, that's changing.
Yeah. So we'll see. Lamar Jackson did that a lot. Also, the touchback rule. So any fair catch wherever, if it's on the 5-yard line, 10-yard line, when it's a kickoff, it's going to start at the 25-yard line. So it doesn't have to be necessarily in the end zone.
Also, players can wear 0 now. The number 0.
I'm okay with that.
And then the flexing scheduling for Thursday Night Football, we went over that, and I think that's pretty much it.
I'm just excited to have this game back.
All right, yeah. That's going to be it, unless you guys have anything else to say? No, we're good. So we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see Zach Wilson play. Thursday. Yep. Thank you guys to anyone who made it to the end. We'd love to see you guys giving your opinion with us on our social media, which is football_tailgaters on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you guys again for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.